Hey everybody, it's Sean and Trey with Reactions to the Classics. Before we get started today, we just wanted to invite you to take a look at our Patreon page where we have all kinds of reward tiers, anywhere from reacting to an entire album to songs, and to support us for as little as $1 a month. It really helps us out.
And you can also check out our Facebook and Discord groups down below. Got a great community of people who love music. And all that to say, y'all, let's get to today's video. What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined again by my dad, Sean, and today, in Reactions to the Classics, we're going to be taking a look at Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes with their record, This Time It's For Real. Wasn't familiar with this group at all.
Me neither.
But they were brought to us by our patron, Jimmy. Jimmy, longtime supporter of the channel, as always. Appreciate you,
Thank you, Jimmy.
And appreciate this record because we're big Springsteen fans here.
We are.
And this had a lot of connections with Bruce and the E Street Band here. So we'll get to the quick facts and then we'll just get into this record.
Second studio album released in 1977. And yeah, the ties you were talking about, there's 3 songs co-written by Bruce himself with Steve Van Zandt, and then Steve Van Zandt wrote 5 of these by himself. And according to Stevie, the 2 new Springsteen Van Zandt compositions, Love on the Wrong Side of Town and Little Girl So Fine, were written at least in part during their times that Springsteen attended their recording sessions in December of '76. A third composition, When You Dance, was written by the pair earlier in 1971. Southside Johnny's long been considered, Trey, as the grandfather of the, quote, New Jersey sound. Jon Bon Jovi's acknowledged Southside Johnny as his reason for singing. And a few members of the Asbury Jukes ended up going on and joining Max Weinberg, who was Springsteen's drummer, with the band for Conan O'Brien. So
I like that, man. And we'll get started off with one of those Van Zandt songs with This Time It's For Real, the title track. Immediately we're introduced to that energetic, the horns.
The horn. We're all in from the jump on instrumentation. You know you're dealing with a professional band here.
And then the piano, the guitar, it all just makes great. This checked all the boxes for me.
I figured it did.
For a good rock and roll opener.
Nice guitar solo thrown towards the end that you didn't expect to come in there.
This was energetic. This had a catchy chorus, and this got you looking forward to what was ahead on the rest of the record. So that checked the box for me.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a really good way to start. And basically the lyrics is, this guy is a gambler. It's going to work out for him this time. His woman's trying to stop him, but he's telling her, no, I'm doing this because this time it's for real. Then we move on to a cover on here, the only cover that's on here. A song that Aretha Franklin did, Without Love. And basically, without love, no amount of money or anything else matters, Trey. That is true, but I think you'd have a hard time convincing a lot of people in this world of that. But this was really good, a definite change, and I think it was my favorite one on this album.
Oh yeah, it'd be up there for me too. A little bit of a soulful mix in here.
Yeah.
And we had that on a few songs.
Yeah, we did.
Which we had the sugar strings in there, and then we had the ever so lovely horns that just mixed well. You could tell that Southside Johnny was really feeling what he was saying here, and I think it's cool that it took an Aretha Franklin song, which you wouldn't make that connection really.
You would not with the New Jersey sound. No, you would not.
But I thought it sounded fantastic, man, and a good differentiation from the opener. And then we're going to keep on moving to track 3, which is, again, very different. Very different.
It's a song actually written by Dolores Johnson called Check Mr. Popeye. And it has actually Popeye and Olive Oil and Brutus. And I remember him from being a very little kid, probably out of your wheelhouse altogether. You might know who Popeye is, but
I know who Popeye is, but I didn't ever.
A very interesting vocal delivery here, and I tell you what, I just didn't like this song. Now, I do think if I'm sitting in a bar having a beer, this song translates much better than sitting in my chair with my headphones on.
That's a good point. I'm with you. This was my least favorite on the record.
And the coasters were on background.
Yeah.
And the guy that sings it was Kenny Popeye Pentafalo. So I guess the Popeye nickname must play into this. So there's probably a double meaning that's beyond me. I looked for a ton of research on this album, and there just isn't much. We have both read all the lyrics and tried to find what we could, but that's really all I could come up with on this song. But
it has a bit of a hilarious backstory right to it, but and I guess you really get to see Southside Johnny utilize that harmonica.
Yeah, you do.
His skills there, but as a whole, I wasn't a huge fan of it. But it is interesting how they got we'll see this later on as well. Kind of got the 50s Motown soul R&B type of groups to come in and do some backing vocals. Yet again, pointing to maybe a mashup that you wouldn't necessarily expect, but it works with those horns. And then we're going to move on now to track number 4.
Next up's First Night, another song written by Van Zandt. He's actually sharing vocals here. You got the satins on backgrounds. You got that 50s sound. Basically, he's in love with her after his first night with her, and all he wants her to do is say the same thing.
Yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, really Motown is what kind
of
a
little fun tune.
To this one, I thought that the backing harmonies here, that piano riff, and just the whole vibe of it really just made it one of my favorites. I enjoyed this one quite a bit, and then we're going to move on now to the next tune.
She Got Me Where She Wants. Another song by Van Zandt, and basically the old adage of the woman's got him, Trey. He's telling his boys, look, if you haven't seen me out lately, if I'm not coming out to you, it's because I've found the love of a good woman, and I'm going to do basically whatever she says. She's got me where she wants.
Yeah, and musically here we had, again, some pleasant horns, which segued nice into a bit of a higher energy, incessant piano riff here. I thought we brought the energy up from the last couple tunes a little bit.
And I thought it was a moment of songwriting honesty in an otherwise macho era where guys aren't going to admit that, man, I'm doing what I want. But it's like, no, like on the first song on the title track, he's doing what he wants. I'm gambling. You're not going to tell me this is going to work out. But on this one, he's like, she's got me, guys. I'm sorry. I really have no power.
That's a good observation.
So I thought that was pretty cool that Stevie kind of buried up those lyrics.
And then we're going to start side B with Some Things Just Don't Change. This is another Van Zandt written song here. And here his woman has kind of left him a little bit.
Yeah, and he wished she hadn't left now. I think he might have told her to go, but now, he still loves her and wants her to come back. He's kind of messed up, and can I just have a do-over here? I thought this song was the only one on here that stood out like this for me in this particular manner, and that's that the mixing on this song is horrible. The horns in particular on the instrumentation absolutely drown out the vocals when they come in. It just has a totally different sound. From what I could find, they did it all in the same studio, but this one definitely sounded different.
Yeah, and here I thought it was funny. In the previous song, he mentioned he'd worked 2 jobs for her, this and that. Well, maybe working 2 jobs just wore this man down.
Maybe it did, man.
I thought that was
can't do it all, baby.
A little bit of a funny maybe connection there. I could be reading into it though, but I will say I did enjoy the filthy bass lines in here. I thought those were great, as well as the horns. Though I'm with you, the mixing was a little bit subpar. And then we'll keep moving on to track number 7, Little Girl So Fine. This, we have Bruce coming in with songwriting credit here. He's not on the album itself, but Bruce and Van Zandt on this one. And here, I thought it was a bit like First Night with the Motown and doo-wop like backing vocals.
We got the Drifters on this one.
Felt like there was the congas in there, maybe an acoustic. Gave it even a slight Latin feel, I thought, at points. Solid tune for me.
Yeah, basically, his girl is so fine, and they love each other. It's a pretty simple song coming from the boss himself. It was okay for me. That takes us to I Ain't Got The Fever No More, another Van Zandt pen song. His girl left him, or at least was going out without him, and he was sad and wallowing in it. But Trey, the old age thing, he lets her know, I don't care anymore. You might have had me hurt at first, but I ain't got the fever no more. I'm over you. I'm going to go find somebody better than you.
Yeah, no. Going for a line there, he even notes, my only regret is I waited too damn long, or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought Johnny's best harmonica playing is found
I
in
agree.
This tune.
And I didn't really care for the song that much, but I think the lyrics are gold, so it's kind of a so-so song.
And I think this points to, even though a lot of these tunes have a similar DNA with the brass instrumentation and piano and whatnot, they do a lot of the times have slightly different arrangements to give the song a unique flair, whether it be going on the more doo-wop or bringing in some backing harmonies, or here with the harmonica. We're going to keep rocking as we're starting to close up this record.
Yeah, a year from this record, 1978, Trey Bruce is going to bring darkness on the edge of town. But now him and Stevie are going to bring love on the wrong side of town. He was giving him Faithful to her, but she took and lied to him. Lots of horns on here. You can tell the Bruce songwriting influence. For me, another song that was not bad.
Yeah, I thought we had a wonderful sax solo here. This is my favorite on the B side, actually.
Probably was mine too, yeah.
As you mentioned, you can definitely tell the lyrical and even the way Southside is delivering these vocals here, the Bruce influence.
Yes, big time.
And, you know, kind of that on the streets love type of a New Jersey flair to it. So I thought it was a pretty sick song. And then we finish off this record with another Bruce and Van Zandt tune.
Yeah, When You Dance, but this thing just starts out crazy. What the heck is going on? We got Wild Animal. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
at
I
the
guess
start.
pointing back to what I was saying, every song has a unique flair to it.
Sounds like an African safari out here.
Yeah, exactly. We got the animal jungle sounds, and then that segues into the all-familiar horns and piano riffs that we become accustomed to. I thought it worked as a closing tune, and I think it was be even better live.
Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of these. And basically the premise of this song, I think, is that he's infatuated with watching her dance. He's in love with her. I don't even know if she knows who he is, but
yes, that's true.
But that's going to take us on to our favorite tracks. Mine are First Night and Without Love.
I put those two in as well as Love on the Wrong Side of Town. And now that'll take us to our overall score.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Here's the thing I noticed from the first 10 seconds of this album on the title track. These guys are professional musicians, right? There's all the instruments in here. You talked about how a lot of the songs sounded different. And I like that. Different arrangements. We brought in some 50s and 60s groups to do backing vocals and what we just mentioned, the crazy African safari sound. You got Van Zandt. You got a little bit of Bruce in here. You got all that heavy influence from the New Jersey sound. But I do think most of this stuff would be better live. Like I would pay for a ticket to go sit in a bar and watch these guys. So for me, it was a good album. As you said, we're big Springsteen fans. So in essence, you almost do compare it, even though you don't want to. So for me, it's a very solid album. My grade's going to be a 6.0 out of 10, and that's not a bad grade. And people listen to this and go, "Oh, it's not a good album." It is a good album. Okay, it's all solid. There were a couple on there that weren't great for me, but most of it was very solid, with one standout.
Yeah, I think you bring up a lot of good points here, just with how musically inclined these guys are, and just the influence of Springsteen and the E Street Band here. I think I enjoyed this type of sound maybe a little more than you do.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll jump in before you give that grade and just say, like, there's albums that I've rated 8 and 8.25 because they're an 8 or 8.25, but that I honestly would never listen to again just because it's not my kind of music. This is, I actually probably will spin this again in my own time, so I do like the sound.
And so I'm going to be at a 7.25 for me, just because I really enjoy kind of horn type of dominated of music, and just the way they varied everything up. And here you're not looking for, I think, lyrically dense poems and
you're
whatnot.
Looking to have a good time, man.
Yeah, good time, good fun love songs, because your music doesn't have to be poetry style level all the time.
I say it all the time, Trey. Not everybody's got to be Dylan, man.
No, exactly. So I enjoyed this, especially for discovering a new group that we hadn't really ever heard before. So shout out to Jimmy on this one. If you are familiar with this album or this band, let us know what you think down in the comment section below, y'all. As always, Dad, appreciate the research.
Enjoyable.
And until next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Happy listening, and we will see ya.